Welcome to Podcast Hell. I'm Erick Hellwig. Ad reads. This is the third week Magic Mind has sponsored the show, and I keep calling it Magic Mike by mistake. To be clear, I'm not recommending Magic Mike. I'm sure it's a great movie. I'm a little scared of it. I already married a chick, all right? I'm not watching that fucking movie. What happens if I like it? Anyway, that's not the point. Let's get back to Magic Mind. Their promise is to use the world's best suppliers, require testing of every ingredient, provide certificates of analysis of said ingredients, inspect every bottle by hand, and test every batch in a third-party lab. That's the Magic Mind promise. Slightly different from the Magic Mike promise, which is if you freeze frame during the final dance, you can see Channing Tatum's dick. To try Magic Mind for yourself, which you should, take my promo code PodcastHell20, again, that's 20, PodcastHell20, and go to magicmind.com/podcasthell. It's 20% off a one-time purchase or a subscription, and it helps keep the advertisers happy and not focused on the fact that I said Channing Tatum's dick in an ad for their product. Okay, Radical Neon. Some of you are listening to the audio of this podcast right now. If you are, stop whatever you're doing, even if it's life-saving heart surgery, and go to my YouTube page and look at this fucking beautiful sign from Radical Neon, all right? It's sick. And you can have your own sign for whatever you need for 20% off just by going to radicalneon.com and using my promo code PodcastHell20. It's 20% off. Radical is spelled R-A-D-I-K-A-L. And Podcast Hell promo, you know it, PodcastHell20. You can also email hello@radicalneon.com and just use the promo code in the body of the email. Check them out. They're great, and the signs look awesome. Quick reminder before we start the show, I do have a headlining gig at the Cellar Door in Frederick on Sunday, December 17th. Tickets are available at erichellwig.com. If you're in Maryland or Virginia or somewhere, I don't know, West Virginia, anywhere, you could fly in. Grab tickets. They're on my website. We still have some seats available for that. And, hopefully I'll see you. If I don't see you at the show, I guess I'll see you in 5 seconds when the podcast starts.
Girl, we're about to go somewhere out now. Times to rise and elevation starts to drop down. Our little secret, don't kiss and tell, you're so bad. I'll probably see you in hell. Welcome to hell, baby. This is Podcast Hell.
Like the last 4 people on the podcast have been like, "Do you know Brad Stoll?" And they're always like, "No." And I don't have a follow up. I'm just like, oh, "Okay, never mind."
Oh, you've asked them if they know Brad?
Yeah. Like I'm like, I wonder if they know this guy I know.
Right.
And they don't, but you do. I think that's the first time we talked.
Yep, through Brad. Yep,
as he was leaving.
Yeah. He's actually been a connector for me for a few different people. I was just shooting with a guy the other day that I met at his going away party.
Oh, which guy?
Cliff Cisneros. Do you know him?
No.
Cool guy. Very funny. Sketch guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else do we know?
Just name off Brad, mutual friends. Anwar, the big content guy. He has 14 million. Just gonna list his credits, but he's like a big Viner and like has a huge presence now. But I was shooting with him and Cliff the other day, I met at Brad's party.
Is Vine back?
No.
Okay, Vine's the thing that went away.
Yeah.
That was there for a minute.
Yes, but it did kind of give birth to a bunch of content creators who are still relevant now. So on other platforms.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool.
I sometimes lament the fact with a couple of my like content creator friends that we didn't take Vine more seriously. I mean, granted, at the time I didn't know I wanted to like have a career in comedy, but I remember when Vine was a thing, and I made did you ever make Vines?
No, dude, I just started doing Instagram like 2 years ago. I'm I'm somebody that like looks at what you guys do, and I'm like, that would have been a good idea. That would have been a good idea when I was starting comedy and had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Hey man, you want to come make this this short video with us?" I'm like, "Nah, fuck you guys."
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, "God damn it, that was smart."
Yeah. I mean, Vine really did launch a lot of people who are, like I said, still relevant today, and a lot of people who are no longer relevant today. But no, it was I look back. That's like one of my regrets. It's like I didn't take the Vine and like the content stuff more seriously during the initial boom of it, like early YouTube, things like that. But
where would you on your list of regrets in life? Like where does not getting as into Vine? Like, is it top 10 or is it
it's top 10 for sure. Yeah, definitely.
You're like Vine, not speaking to my father,
right,
not being in my kid's life.
Yeah, but all underneath Vine.
No, these are our regrets. In 2023, 2024, like these are the types of regrets people like. Our grandparents were like, I left my friend in a ditch,
in a foxhole.
Yeah. like I had to go take a piss, and I would have stayed with him had I known. We're like, I knew Instagram Reels would be important,
right? But I didn't capitalize during the initial.
I should have Googled hashtags more, like just that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we do live a pretty charmed life, I would say.
Do you ever like think back? Like, have you seen The Revenant?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever I'm sad about something, I think of that scene where the bear is eating him.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not getting eaten by a bear.
Right. Or when he's like sleeping in a horse or whatever.
I kind of like that part.
Okay.
I like because some of my favorite parts of the movie. It's like super underrated Revenant scene is where he gets out of the horse in the morning and he like just puts his hand on it, like thank you.
Yeah.
To the dead carcass.
Right. I'm trying to remember that. I saw it like 7 years ago, but
recall everything you can remember because I want to talk about it.
Yes.
No, it's just like I don't know. I don't know if this would be like considered good. Like if a therapist heard this, if they'd be like, you need to stop doing this. But like anytime I'm like feeling an emotion, I literally just call back to like movies like that or like things I know from history, and I'm like, well, I'm not like somebody didn't like stick like a pike up my asshole and like put me where the town could see me as it goes. Like I just like read medieval torture shit, and I'm like, well, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So like, why should I be this upset that my dad doesn't support my comedy or whatever fucking bullshit I'm upset about?
Right. Yeah, I actually that reminds me of like my grandpa was a World War II veteran, and he would always like instill in my mom that like his daughter, he'd be like, when bad things are going on, like, hey, at least no one's shooting at you. Like he was in D-Day. Like he experienced like hell on earth. So anything else after that was just like, whatever.
How do you like people are like, the parenting of that generation was not great. And it's like, maybe because a lot of them were at D-Day or like, if you were a lady, you were like in a factory, like making fucking like missile casings or whatever like the shit of like being actually in a war effort.
Yeah.
How do you then like attend to your kids' need for eye contact? It seems like they were destined to be bad parents. Like their thing in life was winning that war.
Right.
And our thing in life is like being much better parents, but probably losing whatever war we're forced to fight.
Right.
I don't think I would handle a war very well.
Yeah, that's same.
Yeah. I just like to I want to break you down. First 10 minutes,
Yep.
That's kind of what the podcast is. Not really.
Nice.
Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Okay.
So that's why, I'm a big Minnesota sports fan, which we talked about a little before. But from Minnesota, born and raised there, and went to college out in Boston, East Coast, and then now I'm.
What
here
school in
LA,
Boston did you go
Emerson.
to? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people went to creative people go to Emerson.
Yes, it is a big like creative arts school.
Bill Burr
is
my sketch teacher from New York.
Okay.
Me. That's
three
people
in entertainment.
When I said a lot of people, I meant you're the third person that I have heard of going to Emerson. But I think there's more.
There are more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary went to Emerson.
Okay.
Jay Leno went to Emerson.
Really?
Who was actually famously, he dropped out. The story goes, I don't know how true this is, but the story goes that he dropped out of Emerson because they told him he'd like never amount to anything or something. I don't know. Maybe he's just
making that up. That sounds fucking made up.
Right.
Anytime, like nobody ever says the phrase "you'll never amount to anything."
It's like the rappers who are like to my teachers who said I'd never do shit in life. It's like, what teachers did you have? It's like those are some mean teachers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, apparently they were very down on him at Emerson, and he quit so he could just do stand-up in Boston. And then so he and Emerson had this like bad relationship his whole career. But then I guess he mended things with them and then did the commencement speech there like 10 years ago or something. Yeah. But yeah, so he's not an Emerson graduate because he didn't graduate, but he did go to Emerson. So
I've got a buddy who I went to college with that never graduated, and every time I start bringing up like memories of seeing you, like I forget that he didn't graduate, and it's like I think it might be a sore point for him.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, to me, if you went there, that's like, I don't know, you can claim it. Like
right.
You gave them money.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get to fucking say that I was in a program there. It was like a leadership program, and I didn't graduate.
What school?
Christopher Newport.
Newport.
It's very small. It's like in Southern Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was in this leadership program. You're supposed to be in it for 4 years. I quit because it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But then, like, for everything I've ever done since then, I put that on my resume. So
okay.
I was like, well, I did it. I just didn't finish it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to fucking call up and be like, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But this guy, like, I don't know. I feel like if once you start doing it, you get to do it.
Right. Also, that's the thing. Like, does anyone actually verify like college graduation?
No.
Right?
I think you could put like...
You could just say anything. If it's not like something where you need like specific skills like
doctor.
Medicine. Or,
yeah.
After that, it's like I feel like you can kind of say whatever. No one has ever asked, all the jobs I've applied for, no one has ever asked to see my physical degree. And they probably didn't call up Emerson to verify that I graduate. I mean, I did graduate, but easily could be lying about it too.
I fucking found my degree. Like when I went home last time, I mean, it had like fucking jizz stains on it. Like I don't know where it was, like fucking tucked away in a box.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got that. The day they handed this to me, it went right in a box and never came out until later.
Yeah, I hope if my degree's still, I mean, I'm sure it's around somewhere, hopefully at my parents' place still. Hopefully they know where it is. I don't know where it is.
Yeah. I think maybe I'll get my school to send me a new degree,
a new one,
and frame it, and that'll be what goes on this wall.
There you go.
Have you ever seen someone like display a bullshit 4-year like English degree that doesn't even apply to the thing that they're doing? Like I'm in sales now. Like I'm in sales and I'm a comedian. College was clearly not necessary.
Right.
But like,
yeah, it's same, I guess. But yeah, also I've dabbled in sales as well. But yeah, no, I've never seen like the unrelated degree. That would be a funny move.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it.
You should.
What did you sell?
I sold. I guess okay.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna start by saying what I usually tell people, which is true. I tell them medical devices. I do medical device sales.
Okay.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
The thing that holds ladies' pussies open during gynecology. Is that what you did?
But
right.
You're kind of on the right track, I guess.
All right.
Life alert.
Oh yeah.
Help! I've fallen. I can't get up. And
well, you sold that to old people?
Yeah. Oof. And their kids.
Oof.
Over the phone.
Oof.
And
this is brutal.
Yeah. It was a weird job. And I mean, I like to think that I was helping people. I was saving lives, Yeah. But also there were some negative things about it too. But also I might be, if things don't really, if I need to go, I basically took a hiatus from them, might have to come crawling back if
sure.
I need the cash. But yeah, so if you're watching this, Life Alert bosses, I love you.
Would you have like a thing where if an old lady, like you called someone and they were like, hello, you were like, fucking jackpot. Oh, I got him. Like, was there like, if they the more close to death they sounded, the better?
Sometimes, not always. There's this hilarious story that sticks in my mind. It's hilarious to me. That
always good to start a story by saying it's hilarious.
Right, that's I shouldn't have said that.
Everybody recommends that.
Yeah, that was a bad move. Okay, there's a story, and you can decide if it's hilarious. But there was a guy there was a woman who called, older lady. It sounded like she was like, my husband is interested in getting one. He'd like to sign up for one. It's like, oh great, I'll tell you all the details, and we can go over pricing and everything. And so it sounded like she was ready to buy. And then I hear this voice from distantly over the phone being like, I don't need it yet. And then she's like, I'm sorry, 1 second. What do you mean you don't need it? What do you mean you don't need it? You're ready for it. And then so they're just arguing. And then she comes back and is like, I'm so sorry. Can I get your number? I'm going to have to call you back at another time. I'm like, oh, your husband didn't think he was ready for it? He's like, yeah, he's very independent minded, so he's not quite ready. I was like, okay, you did mention a lot of medical issues he has. How old is he, if I may ask? Oh, he's 99.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 99, and I was like, man, with all due respect, he's very blessed to have made it this long to 99, and based on everything you said, this would be the smart thing to do. Well, I agree, but he's not ready. And then, I called her back like a week later. Yeah, he's still not ready. And so, I never made that sale.
I don't think that guy was ever ready.
Yeah.
Some people, like, I don't know, my grandfather made it to 94, one of my grandfathers, and like, he was like trying to go out for walks well past the time where he was like supposed to.
Yeah.
But I think some guys they're like, push it. They're like, one more year of fucking or driving or whatever they think they can still do.
Yeah.
You could just, at that point, I feel like you could just slip it on him while he's sleeping.
Right. Yeah, no, I think the big sticking point for a lot of people was just like the pride of like having to wear a necklace.
Yeah.
Or a wristband. It was just like they didn't want to. There's like a stigma for them of wearing it. So.
Oh, you got to put it where you can touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, because I would like put it on my ankle, but I can barely touch my fucking ankle now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to do it, but no,
can't you hide it though? Can't you put it under your shirt?
Yeah, you can tuck it under your shirt. Yeah,
put it under your shirt.
Yeah. So
I'm never putting on one of those fucking things though. I'll tell you this, I totally relate to the guy
for sure. Yeah. No, I would probably do the same thing if I ever reached that age.
Yeah.
So.
I sold timeshare.
Okay.
Which also I think I was saving people's lives.
Yeah. How?
By forcing them to go to Colonial Williamsburg every year for 30 years. No, I don't know. I didn't sell like the timeshare itself. I sold these packages.
Those are like the vacation homes.
It's like
right?
you own a week in this house.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking ripoff. Yeah. Unless you're like somebody who likes to go to the same place every year and you always take vacations at this, like if you're like a teacher or something, it's probably good.
Yeah.
But for everybody else, it's not that great of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've never heard people talk about timeshares in like a positive light. It's always like it's a ripoff, it's a scam.
Yeah, it's you know what it's like. Yes, I do think that it's like Dane Cook. Like, okay, some people liked it. Like, he obviously was pretty fucking popular. I don't hear people talk positively about him. Why am I fucking defending timeshare? No, it's bad. It's bad, but I do think like it just could be a better thing. Yeah. Like for some people it's fine, but like it's the fact that it's the high pressure sales is what makes people fucking hate it.
Yes.
But I would go to trade shows. Well, first I would like walk around Williamsburg. That's like the first thing I did there. And I would just, if I saw somebody with an out of town license plate, I would like approach them. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, oh, hey, do you guys get tickets to Busch Gardens yet? And I would just like fucking start pitches like this is embarrassing. This is probably worse than what you did with Life Alert. But like sometimes I would like with my car, I would just wait by a stop looking for out-of-town license plates, like a fucking like rapist. I would just look until somebody drove in on the main like Freedom Highway into Colonial Williamsburg, and then if I saw an out-of-town plate, I would pull my car next to them, and I would like wave. I'd go, "Hey, roll your window down, follow me." And then I would just like, when the light changed, I would pull in front of them and pull off onto like a little dirt road, and people would follow me. And then I would approach their car. I'd have my hands up, so they would have a weapon. I would be I would go, "I saw you had out of town. I saw you from New York. I have these extra tickets to Busch Gardens. I just want to give them to you. Yeah, it's a 20-minute tour." And I would fucking pitch people on the side of the road.
That is amazing.
Insane.
Dedication to
insane.
Yeah.
That anybody ever like bought it. And
like, did that lead to any sales? Wow.
I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't working.
That's so.
I also used to go to Friendlies. There was a Friendlies right when you came in.
Yeah.
You want to they're going to get overpitched when they're in Williamsburg. So you're trying to get them like be the first person to talk to them.
Uh-huh.
So like there was a Friendlies that people would like. It was right by all the hotels. So it'd be like, oh, people go there the first night a lot. So I would go to the Friendlies parking lot and just recline my seat back so you couldn't really see that I was in the car, and I would wait for the car. Again, like serious like rapist behavior.
This is like, it's like you're the night crawler.
I would just wait for people to come in.
Timeshares.
Yeah, and then when I would see the plate, I'd go, okay. I would time getting out of my car when they were walking into the store and just be like, hey, I'm sorry guys. I don't know if anybody's asked you. Have you guys gotten your tickets to? That was always have you gotten your tickets to Busch Gardens? Because that was the gift.
Okay.
They would get if they did the fucking
and Busch
spiel.
I missed an important detail. Busch Gardens is what?
A theme park.
Okay.
In Williamsburg.
Right.
And you'd be like, if you come sit in on this 90-minute timeshare pitch, we will give you tickets to Busch Gardens.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But I would like hold it out and be like, did you get these?
Yeah.
Like we meant to hand these to you.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And then I would go right into the spiel.
That is...
It's kind of crazy.
Like, so crazy, but also like impressive that you were able to pull that off. The nice thing about Life Alert, I will say, is that there is no cold calling and no running people off the road and convincing them to get out of their car. Mm-hmm. There was none of that. It's because it was all inbound business, and then the only outbound calls you made were people who had already inquired before, so you didn't have to cold approach, cold call. So that was like the selling point of them like hiring me and other people that like, hey, you don't have to cold call because that's tough.
Cold calling's brutal. I have a sales job now. I don't have to cold call, and that was one that I had two requirements. I was like, no cold calling, and I got to work remote.
Yeah,
cold calling is brutal. I've done that.
Yeah,
and that fucking sucks.
Totally. That's
worse than someone giving you the finger as you try to run them off the road. Like that's a more like just the fucking fuck you click. That gets sad.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah.
You said you might go back? Just dependent on like, how
depending on how
this podcast taking off.
Yeah. If this podcast goes viral, then I won't need to go back. So
well then I have bad news for you, man. You're going back.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see how things play out. But yeah, I left it on terms there. It was just like, maybe you can come back if you want. So
yeah. I had like 3 years in New York where I didn't have to have a day job because I was making enough money doing other stuff.
That's nice.
It fucking ruled, dude. It was great.
Yeah.
But it was an illusion. It was like an oasis.
Yeah.
It's because it was improv based, and that collapsed hard.
Improv comedy?
Improv comedy.
You were making a living.
I was making a living from improv comedy.
The one person.
I was like the one person that was making $80,000 a year with improv comedy.
Were you from shows?
I was jerking off my students. No, I was teaching a lot.
Okay.
And then because I was at this theater performing a commercial agent, I guess I was doing commercials.
Okay.
But like I wasn't an actor. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even have headshots or anything.
Yeah.
But they were like, you should come do commercials. And then I started booking commercials, and that plus teaching was enough.
Oh, that's cool.
So I just was like, oh man, like why doesn't everybody just fucking do improv? It's so profitable.
Right.
And then of course it stopped.
Yeah. Well, yeah, performing improv is obviously not profitable.
You
but
pay to
there's,
do it.
Yeah, other things around it that, can lead to commercial work. I try to book commercial work. I get close to a lot of them. But hopefully there's one around the corner. But yeah, do you do commercial acting out here?
No. I mean, I have a rep,
Yeah.
but I don't like doing it.
Okay.
So I like, when he sends me auditions, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I actually don't look forward to it.
Yeah.
This is, especially now with like, you got to fucking do it yourself.
Yeah,
you
a
got
lot
to
of
set
them
up
are-
your camera.
Yeah, the self-tapes can be a little arduous. Although the commercials are going back more and more in person now. Like this past
great.
week, I went into like three or four in-person commercial auditions. So that was nice to just be able to go in and do your thing and leave.
If that's what it's gonna be, I'm in. Because
Yeah.
I like that in New. I like
Yeah.
I can listen to a podcast. I can do other shit. I just walk into the room. Oh, Triscuits, the best. And then
Yeah.
you fucking out. Or sometimes even like it would just be like a facial expression.
Oh yeah,
The biggest commercial I ever booked, I just looked at someone and went, it was like, I'm gonna fucking pay my rent for 2 years off of that face.
Yeah, it's crazy how that can work. What company was that?
Ally Bank.
Okay,
You never saw that?
no, didn't see that one.
It made the rounds for. I'll show it to you after the podcast.
Sure.
It
So,
was
so
pretty.
it ran for a while and
It ran for a while, and
Okay.
yeah.
got your
Yeah, it was
little residuals.
Got my residuals. My mom is like, because I would go for these auditions, and she would call me and be like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm auditioning for whatever, Cheez-Its." She'd be like, "Cheez-Its? I just bought Cheez-Its. This is huge, Eric." I'm like, "You can't fucking pump me up for it." Because I probably won't book it.
Yeah.
So it became a thing where like I wouldn't like really celebrate when I booked that stuff. I'd just be like, it's just a fucking paycheck. They might cut me out of the commercial after I shoot it. Like, I had that happen.
Yep.
So now that that's all done, I'm like, I probably should have like told more people that I was like booking commercials, or like let people celebrate it with me more. Do you ever feel that way? Like you get something and you're like, you work so hard to get it. You're like, by the time you get it, you're like already thinking about 3 things ahead of what you
next
want.
thing, yeah.
And you're not really like enjoying the moment.
For sure. Yeah. No, I felt that way too. Also, I've been like cut out of stuff, cut out of movies and things
Movies?
like that. Yeah. Well, there's one in particular. It was like a Hulu movie that I only had one scene in, but it was like a big scene with like the main character who's a pretty notable actor, and the whole scene just got completely cut. And so I'm glad I didn't. So I've had like a viewing party for a couple things before. Luckily, that wasn't one of them, because that would have been super embarrassing if I invited a bunch of people over and I'm like, oh, here it comes. Oh, just kidding. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming,
here's the scene where I club Robert Redford in the head with a dead carp.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm the same way though. I'm always kind of thinking ahead, and like I'm not satisfied with the current thing. I want the next thing. So, but
Yeah.
that's the life of what we do.
Sure. Are you like trying to have kids or anything?
I mean, someday probably, but like I'm not even. That's like pretty far away.
I just unzip my skin and I'm your fucking girlfriend.
Yeah.
When are you gonna fucking get married, you
Right.
piece of shit?
Yeah. No, that's. I feel like that's a long way.
How old are
off
you?
For me. I'm 31.
Oh my god, dude.
So-
well, that's what it is. The mustache. I thought we were closer.
Oh, okay. This age.
I'm fucking 38.
Okay. The stash aged me up.
The stash age.
I just do the stash for. We were talking about commercials. I just do it for commercials.
Yeah.
Because like all my friends with mustaches, they just book left and right. It's like a cheat code. If you ever like notice that? How like they
Oh
love,
yeah,
commercials love mustache guys.
Yes,
They're like
and
ooh, quirky, millennial, ironic.
I did like a week where I had a goatee. I'm a quarter Mexican, and it does not register unless I start doing stuff with my facial hair, and then I'm like, oh, now I look like my fucking relatives in Mexico.
Okay.
And like I tried it like at points in New York, but then the people I was dating were like, get rid of that fucking goatee.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I don't think I pull it off well, but I can.
Okay.
I can like. I mean, this shit grows out. I could rock that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you start doing commercials again, do the mustache. I mean, it's not really worked for me, but for all the people I know who do mustaches, they book all the time.
Brad Stoll just shaved his mustache, though.
Really?
You know Brad Stoll?
Never heard of him.
Got to happen at least 3 times a podcast.
Right. Must say his name 3 times. He shaved his mustache. Interesting. And it's like his go-to look.
It's his go. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm okay with it. We do not need to talk about Brad Stoll. I brought it up, and I'm immediately like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Right. Can't escape him.
I can't. I really can't escape him. He was like, we became friends out here. Like we hung out in New York a lot.
Right.
Or we hung out in New York sometimes, just like open mics.
Okay.
But then when I came out here, and then he moved out like not that much shorter after I did. And it's like, I don't know about, you said you're from Minnesota.
Yep.
How long you been in LA?
I've been here like 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if a lot of people from Minnesota come here, but if you come from New York, all you do is hang out with your friends from New York.
Yep.
In LA.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I do. There are a handful of Minnesota friends that I hang out with. There actually are surprisingly a lot of Minnesotans who are here also. But yeah, no, it's like that's totally a thing. Is like hanging out with the people where you were from.
Is there a big pipeline of St. Paul to LA?
Kind of. Yeah, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a lot of the sketch guys I work with are Minnesotans. A lot of a couple of the actors, actresses, comedians. Yeah.
Where are your O's? Where
you're not picking it up. It's very subtle now. It's
Okay.
very subtle. I think it's kind of washed. The accent is kind of washed away over time, which thank God, because that's an obnoxious accent.
Come on now. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no,
we all love Fargo.
Right.
I love it.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, no, I've seen like clips, some like videos that I did in high school and stuff. And I was like, wow, that accent was pretty gnarly. Like I had it, and it kind of wore away as I left the state. Which again, I think it's a good thing because I don't think it's very attractive.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Is it that thing? We can still talk while I let the dog in.
Sure.
Is it a thing where like if you get drunk, it comes back?
It comes out. Maybe. Yeah. I think. Yeah. If I'm in a high energy situation, and if I'm like yelling about something, if I'm at there's a Vikings bar here in LA, the Pineapple Saloon, and
That's the bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Sherman Oaks. And yeah, so if I'm watching a Vikings game out here and we're yelling about the Vikings, I might be like, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Might come out when surrounded by fellow Minnesotans.
Yeah, you're less what is it, like he just fucking came in and now he's going back to the door.
Oh, he always wants the other thing.
He just the grass is always greener.
Right.
Whatever, fuck him. Annoying.
Cute dog though.
He's very cute, yeah. I spent the whole last podcast, he walked in, and then I just talked about how I would process him dying.
Oh.
Which was not...
Yeah, that's sad. How old is he?
He's close to dying.
Oh, really?
No, he's like 9.
Okay.
I guess that's like for a pit bull, that's like...
What's the lifespan?
I can't do a second podcast in a row talking about him dying. I have to stop.
Let's move. Let's talk about something new. Let's talk about...
I cannot do that again.
Let's talk about Brad Stoll.
Brad Stoll
shaved his mustache, and
he needs the hair somewhere.
Right.
If there's none here.
Right.
I think he should go. Full beard.
Well, yeah, that's the classic classic bald and full beard look.
I don't know if he can. Not everybody can do that though. Can grow a full beard.
Oh yeah.
I think you could though. I can see the shadow.
My usual look is full beard.
Yeah,
because I look much less like a creep with this mustache. But
have you not? You should have booked that commercial where the dude's trying to break into the house and the little girl's like,
I should have booked that.
Anything where it looks like a child is in danger.
Yeah, a child
like,
or woman is in danger, then you got to cast me with this stash.
Seriously, man. Like it is. I 100% agree with you. Like it's smart if you're going out for commercials.
Oh yeah, because it's like, they view it as like I was saying, it's like quirky, ironic. Like not too young, not too old. Well, it's like kind of a throwback because mustaches used to be super mainstream decades ago, but now when people have them, it's kind of this ironic thing. It's kind of this throwback. It's kind of nostalgic. It like conjures up some mostly positive things, I think, aside from like the creepy stuff. And
except for the time you were lured into an ice cream truck. Yeah.
Other than that one time, it's been all good. So what's the problem?
How do the ladies like it, or the dudes? I don't know. We're not that close.
The ladies of the ones I've asked, I'm like, be honest, which do you prefer? Which is my better look? Or like, beard, mustache, clean shave. I rarely go clean shaven. It's usually beard. So I say like beard or mustache. They're like, I like both, but probably the beard. I'm like, you can just say you hate the mustache.
Is that
But no, I like both, but probably the beard better. So
women have a nice way of easing our egos about some of that stuff.
Right, for sure.
Like they're not often like, this looks like
this
shit.
Is disgusting.
I will not fuck you unless you. Yeah. But that's sweet that they're laying you down on a bed of roses.
Right. It's so funny sorry, I got to stop prefacing things by this is hilarious. This is so funny. Because then it's just going to be a letdown.
This is going to be the greatest story any of you have ever listened to.
But it's like whenever I get a commercial audition and like I shave from the beard to the mustache, I just think of like this. I'm like, of the sacrifices I'm making in my personal life, my dating life. Just like I'm throwing it all away just to try to book this commercial, and I'm sacrificing the next 3 weeks of my life. So
yeah,
it's.
Look,
it's a trade-off.
That is what it is. I mean, it's all trade-offs. Like, there's no like, I'm gonna have everything I want and get to pursue everything equally. It's like, no, I felt that way I still feel that way now. Like living out here away from my family, I'm like, I miss my family a lot. That's the trade-off of like wanting to do this. I think what happens is, I'm sure you'll do very well, but
Thanks.
as you fail more, you eventually come back to like other shit, like other things start to take more of a priority, and you start trading off the career shit. I feel like that's what I did. Because there were so many times in my, especially like late 20s, where I was like, I wouldn't go home for fucking holidays because there was like a stand-up show I got asked to do. And it's like, that was not, at the time, that was worth it.
Right.
It's no longer worth it. I find myself turning down a lot more shit career-wise than I used to, because I'm like not willing to cut into family time or something I plan with my wife.
That's
just like becoming an old piece of shit.
The way it goes.
What it is.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it's like, seems healthy to have a balance of, like, me right now, I'm still very much in like, everything is like career first, everything else after that.
But you should do that.
Yeah.
Like, now's the time to do that.
True.
I mean, you're 31 years old, man. You got your whole fucking, I should just give you advice.
Right.
I have 7 years of mistake. No, I don't know. I don't know shit. I mean, this podcast gets like 100 listeners.
This podcast is going to...
So it's like, it's not...
This is going to launch me.
You should always be careful if anyone's giving you advice ever. Like, just like look around at their life and be like, okay.
Hey, I'm looking around at your life here. You bought a house. That's That's
Yeah,
that's a rare thing.
We
for
did.
people.
Somebody died, and we got money.
Okay, well, you could have kept the veil of success, but you decided not to.
Half the fucking people listening are related to me, and they know that. So I feel like it's all right. No, I mean, I have this nice desk.
It's nice. You have this nice.
I have this
neon
nice
sign.
this nice neon sign.
Yeah.
I do have I have a promo code for this, so I have a promo code.
If someone wants to
If
buy
someone wants
the
to buy,
same sign?
not the same
Okay.
sign, just
Or
a
their
sign.
own sign.
Yeah, they would
Customized.
go. They would go to our friends at Radical Neon
Okay.
in West Hollywood.
Okay. That's where I live.
Podcast Hell 20, get 20% off. Yeah, so I have a promo code.
Okay.
I have a table.
You have a table. You have microphones.
I have
you
a happy
board.
I have a happy marriage. You know,
You have a dog
I have a dog.
who can't decide whether he wants to be in or out of the studio.
You know, I should think of the marriage and the dog. That should come to me sooner than the table and the promo
And the
code.
sign, yeah. Yeah, don't show this.
It does now. I feel like, I don't know. You're single, right?
It's kind of a middle ground situation going on.
Are they going to listen to this? No.
Hopefully not.
All right.
But yeah, no, I'm not in a long term anything right now.
Okay.
But what were you gonna say?
I mean, now I just want to fucking make
Don't
you
do-
uncomfortable
Yeah,
and
no.
be like,
Yeah,
what are
let's-
the chances if
move
I
on.
talk to you in 2 months? No, I mean, that's I fucking hated being single.
Yeah,
I did not like it.
yeah.
I don't think I enjoyed casual sex. I just was like, I had it, and I would just be worried about it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
am I doing this right? Am I hurting their feelings? Are my feelings getting hurt? Like, I just was not. I'm much more comfortable in relationships,
Okay,
even
yeah.
bad relationships.
Yeah,
I'd be like, at least it's a. I'm in a ship.
yeah. That's
You know, I was not
respectable man.
not a lone wolf over
Yeah,
here.
not a Sigma male.
No. You see, regardless of this nebulous situation you're in right now, do you consider yourself more lone wolf,
Kind of.
are you like in a pack?
Kind of lone wolf. Yeah, kind of Sigma, as the kids are saying nowadays.
Is that a real thing? I thought you made that up.
No, it's
Sigma?
a real thing. It's like, I'm saying it ironically to be clear, but it's like this internet thing where it's like there's like the usual hierarchy, like you've heard of alpha and beta, but then there's and omega or whatever, but then there's sigma, which exists out of the usual social hierarchy, and the sigmas are like they do their own thing, and they don't associate with the social norms because they're lone wolves. But they claim not to need the validation and approval of the rest of society. But it's funny because I only know this because of the so-called sigmas on the internet who are like, yeah, I don't care what other people think. I don't care what anyone else thinks. And if you agree, like this post right now to show people that I don't care what other people think because I'm a Sigma male and I don't give a shit. I don't need other people's approval. I don't need social media. So be sure to give this views, share it, like it, comment to show that I don't need anyone. It's like, that's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, I mean, sure. That's a tough spot to be in. I feel like if you're like a lone wolf trying to gather people around you, a true lone wolf would not even have a phone. They would live in the woods
Off the grid,
and
right.
they would kill animals,
Yes,
and they would
and
just
live-
howl at the moon.
Do subsistence living. Yeah. No, I'm not like, no, I and I make fun of people who say this too, but like sometimes I like going out and sometimes I like staying in. Like, yeah, I guess I'm kind of an extroverted introvert or whatever bullshit people say like that. But no, I feel like I am pretty like
Introverted.
introvert minded and like usually pretty like solo, lone wolf, whatever. But I do enjoy socializing also.
Honest question.
Yeah.
You're in the woods.
Yeah.
It's nobody's around. There's nobody for miles.
Yeah.
And it's a full moon.
Yeah.
And you're looking up at it. Would you howl? Like, would you just just try it out and just be like,
Absolutely.
yeah. Would you like try to do it where you're like silhouetted a little bit, like
Totally.
kind of picture there's an image here.
Totally. I would howl and I would film it and post it to show people that I don't give a shit what other people think
Yeah.
as I'm howling at the moon.
I think I would definitely do that. I'm not a lone wolf, but I would behave as one in a situation like that. I feel like you have to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
One thing I used to do when I lived in, this is going to sound crazy. Oh, fuck it. I'll say it. So I used to, when I lived in like Virginia, if I would get upset about something, and when I like, you know, I lived in a place that was like relatively, like you couldn't just scream at the top of your lungs. People would think someone's getting murdered. Mm-hmm. So like I would drive out like 20 minutes to like somewhere like a campsite or something and just scream at the top of my lungs and then get back in the car and go, like if I needed to yell.
Yeah.
You know that feeling where you just want to like yell into the abyss?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would actually drive to a location to do it so I could do it in what I felt was privacy.
Yeah. I mean, is
that a normal thing?
It's not. You're not the only one who's like wanted to. I've seen videos of like people going out and like yelling into waterfalls or whatever and like into the wilderness. Apparently, it is like a good way to just release your whatever.
Just to like scream "fuck" as loud as you can if you're mad about something. Yeah, I think I support that. If I was a therapist, I think I'd be like,
get it out there, get the energy out there.
You need to just fucking, I don't know. I feel like I had a lot more when I was your age. Going back in the day.
Way back in the day. Yeah.
I feel like my angst needed more of the teapot, let the steam out type thing. Now I don't. Now I don't feel like I need that as much.
Yeah.
I'm talking like I'm dying. I'm talking like you should fucking sell me Life Alert.
Yeah, or a timeshare. Yeah. No, for me that's like the gym is kind of I'm a very like kind of anxious, pent up guy. And for me, the gym is the place where I'm able to like get all that out.
You just wail on the buys
and just
wail on the tries,
drop weights and yell. Yeah.
Do you do like power lift training or?
Well, so I go to here's the part where all the viewers lose respect for me, but I do go to since you asked, I do go to a CrossFit gym. And half of the appeal for that is that I'm able to drop weights, yell, freak out, lift shirtless, and act like a caveman.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's fun to just like, do that where normal gyms you have to kind of rein things in. And people always make fun of me at the gym for how like loud I am when I'm like doing heavy lifts, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't do that at fucking Planet Fitness. Like, no. You'll get looks.
They have
and
rules against that.
There's like a lady clanking to 2.5. It's just like, what is? I just got a personal trainer. I'm at LA Fitness across the street, and like he's a big dude. He's a big fucking guy. Doesn't speak that much English. He's like, it's all chest and arms and back. Like, like, are we ever gonna fucking go on a light jog? Like, nothing. Like, no cardio. It's like lifting. Yeah. And the noises that are coming out of me, I'm like, it feels a little embarrassing at LA Fitness. I feel like I'm being too loud. Okay. And I've caught a couple times that somebody is looking over. And I'm like, I feel self-conscious. Yeah. But I was at a CrossFit gym in New York for like, the second I joined a CrossFit gym, it was just countdown to hurting my back. How long until I'm injured and this is wasted money? It took me like a month. Yeah. And I fucking hurt myself. That is something that happens. But yeah, for me, it's like I spend a lot of time on just like stretching now to try to avoid that and like mobilizing and like using lacrosse balls and foam rollers to like smash my muscles out to try to, luckily I've been able to avoid major injuries, but I totally see like why that happens. Yeah. And yeah,
fairly common. But yeah, I guess the pros outweigh the cons for me for now. Of course, until my body collapses under the weight of all that.
You're good, man. You got a couple more years of your physical prime.
Right.
I think it's like 34, 35. You start to be like, why doesn't this arm move?
Yeah.
Anymore?
I think it's funny. I always think of like, cause I love sports obviously. And like, I always think of life in terms of like an athlete's prime. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of in the prime. Well, not if I was a running back. If I was a running back, I'd be done.
We would have thrown you under a bus 4 years ago.
right, exactly, and examined my brain for science. But yeah, no. If
you would have Junior Seau'd yourself so you could keep the fucking
seriously, and hopefully I would not kill anyone around me before turning the gun on myself. Okay, that's dark, but
it stays in. It's clipped. This is the clip.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so I'm like, okay, if I was a baseball player and like a good one, I was a baseball player, but a bad one in college, but that's a whole nother thing. But if I was a pro baseball player and I was good, I'd be in the prime right now. Because baseball players can prime a little later usually than like NFL, NBA,
less getting hit.
Yeah, right. Less physical toll. Yeah, in like a violent way. So I think of it that way. But it's funny with like stand up, like my age, even your age, we're considered like young kind of. It's like,
you are.
It's like usually the big comics obviously like they hit it big in like it's like late 30s 40s is usually when like the big ones become like household names.
It's just so hard to be like funny and insightful and young. I just
it doesn't
and like the people that do it, like even I don't know, like I remember like watching like Bo Burnham specials being like, how fucking old is he?
Right.
And it's great and it's creative, but it's still like, it's like a lot of like ironic wisdom and stuff. Mm-hmm. The only way to really have wisdom is to just be like a fucking old bag. Like just, you have to watch people die. You have to like lose shit. Yeah. It's like, it's hard to like, you can't fake that. I feel like stand up is like the ultimate, like the audience reads it on you. Like if you're, if it's a false thing, or not even false, but like if it's not authentic to you, I don't know. Like I think about like the comics that I like now, and you're right, like they're all fucking 40s, 50s. Mm-hmm. Like that's when their specials get better. It's like anything. It's like an athlete. Like they hit a peak and then they go down. But yeah, it's just like you need fucking some battle scars or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah, totally. Except for Matt Rife, of course. That guy has it figured out. But
I mean, look, I have no hate for that. Everybody's like fucking, first off, the joke is fine. Like who fucking cares?
Oh, I mean, it's such a run of the mill.
It's like, not. Yeah, we watched it and we're like, that's the fucking joke. Yeah. That's what people are.
Because his fans have like never been to
a comedy show
before.
Yeah,
that's like a very average joke, both in terms of like darkness and in terms of like funny, I guess. Like it's just like a decent like whatever joke.
It's just so interesting because like I don't know, I'm a Louis fan, and you watch old Louis clips and you're like, this is, the things he's saying are so fucking crazy. Like it's obviously like whatever, like he's being absurdist with some of his bits, but you're like, man, fucking, I always thought of him as like, and myself at the time as like a liberal progressive guy, and I'm like, you show this act to like those types of people now, they'd be like, he's a fucking animal, right? Like regardless of the jerking off stuff.
Yes,
I'm like, it's just like the window's been moved to where I'm like, that Matt Rife joke upsets people. I'm like, never come to a fucking comedy show again.
Right.
Like that's nothing compared to the horse shit I say on stage. Like
it's insane that like that, and it was funny because I saw there was like people were up in arms about the special, and I saw the special, yeah, and then I saw people were like complaining about it. I'm like, oh, okay, nice. They agree with me that this wasn't the best thing in the world. And then it's like, no, it's actually because they thought the jokes were too offensive. I'm like, okay, now that makes me want to defend Matt Rife.
Yes, because I feel the same way. Like,
yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, my thoughts were like, the jokes aren't bad. They're not that good.
Right.
It's just crazy that like this is a special.
Right.
But the setups are like 3 minutes to one joke. But like, whatever, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to begrudge somebody else's success, but the second like I see like a certain kind of person complaining about something online, all I have to, I feel like I just become reactive, and I'm like, well, I need to defend that shit.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that I don't even really defend, I'm just like, man, I don't want that kind of shit. Not that it will, but like if I ever reached any sort of like success as a comedian.
Yeah.
Where I'm like being seen by people outside of my own family watching this fucking podcast, then I'd be like, I don't know. I feel like I would try. I'm trying to set the expectation already of like, don't even fucking bother with my comedy if that's where you're at.
Well, I think I watched a YouTube video of a guy who had a theory of that's what Matt was doing with this special, was he was trying to like weed out these fans of his who like have never watched anyone else's comedy before, thought comedy was all just crowd work.
Yeah.
And he wanted to like weed out these kind of like, these people, I guess mostly women who don't like know what stand-up is and don't know what satire and absurdism is.
It's mean. Comedy is mean. Like, it's not nice.
You're right. It's not
fucking being nice.
Right.
I hate when people go like, did you see the comments made? I'm like, they're not comments.
Right. It's
jokes. A comment is me sitting down and being like, this is how I feel. That's a comment.
Yeah.
Me being on stage.
Yeah.
I just want to like take these fucking people and be like, you know what? Here's a fucking microphone. Here's the Yoo-Hoo room at Flappers with 20 uninterested people. Make them laugh.
Right.
You fucking dickhead.
Right, by being super nice.
Yeah, go up there and be nice.
Right. Because that's what makes people laugh.
You would get laughs for 30 seconds doing that, because the crowd would be like, oh, well, this is hilariously bad. Oh, it's funny. They're intentionally being nice as a signifier of how you can't do that on stage. Once it was realized that that's all they were going to do for 5 minutes, I would be so happy to watch people bomb like that.
Yeah.
I would love it. I love watching bad comics bomb. Especially like super woke comics. I'm like, oh God, let me sit in the back and fucking enjoy this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you reap what you sow. Like, it's mean. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
no, I mean, it is pretty crazy how like that one joke of his like set off this firestorm of like, so yeah, again, which made
and it's all good for him too. Like, that's the other thing.
People are talking about it. Yeah, probably gets more views for the special, more tickets sold for him. I mean, I was kind of surprised he didn't do any crowd work in this. I guess you usually don't do crowd work in specials, obviously, but since that was like his calling card, or maybe he wanted to show that like this isn't all I do. But then by showing that with just the written material, it's like
people were like, you should do your crowd work,
probably do more crowd work. But yeah, it's like the whole thing is pretty wild to me about how that one joke triggered like this firestorm. It's like, all right, people need to go to a comedy show and see how that's, or an open mic. It's like it's kind of like an open mic joke, you know?
It really is. And that's not to disparage open mics, which, you know, are terrible. But I've heard, I mean, it would be very valuable for people to not go to, if every person didn't have to go to a comedy show, but had to sit in the back of an open mic and watch what it's like for people to bomb with new material. I think that would help. That would be a very good thing for society. If I was running for president, I'd be like, mandatory, you have to go to one open mic a year.
right? for mental health, or for what would that even, for the opposite of mental health?
It would be to like recenter your expectations for public discourse.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the stupidest idea I've ever had. I actually wouldn't. I'd probably run on free healthcare or some bullshit.
Yeah. Open mics. Yeah.
I heard a joke one time at an open mic that I think about once a week, and it's not. I don't even know who said it. It's not my joke, but a guy came on stage and went, "My grandfather died doing what he loved, trying not to die." I just love that joke so much.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. The one open mic joke that sticks with me is, I went to this one years ago. It was like, I don't remember what it's even called, but it's like a pretty like black room. Like that's kind of I think it was a place. Yeah, what was it called? I know, but like. The host was black. There were some people watching. Most of them were black. And so that was kind of the vibe. And this like white guy goes up there and he's like, "Oh, you guys heard of this new slavery app? You heard of this new slavery app on your phone? Yeah. It's called fantasy football. You can just own players and own men, and as like, Jesus.
How did it go over?
It was like it was like, I don't think it was like a lot of shock. They're like
yeah.
Like, what is this guy doing right now? I mean, it wasn't like, no, he bombed. It was a bomb, but it was like, I was kind of dying, not at the joke, but just at the absurdity of the situation.
Yes.
Of this guy, like, making that joke like in that environment.
You don't have to.
Thought was hilarious.
I think there's a thought that like young comics are like, I can do my jokes anywhere. It's like, no, you can't. You can choose what rooms you tell what jokes. That's an okay thing. You're not a phony for maybe I rest the slavery joke in Harlem. No, I used to do an open mic in it was on like 129th and Martin Luther King Boulevard when I lived in Harlem for 6 years, and I was usually only the white guy there, and I would come up, and first off, a bomb can feel like you're doing well sometimes in a black room because they're so audibly telling you're like, are they laughing or are they telling me to get the fuck off stage? But like, I ended up like doing well at some of the shows, and I eventually like they would like put me on like a real show they had there once a month that wasn't a mic, and dude, fucking crushing a black room as a white comic is the greatest feeling.
I'm sure there's no
it's
better
just
feeling.
Like a warm,
not that I would know, but
it's a warm blanket of like racial forgiveness. You're like, oh yes, oh I'm so cozy. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I bet that would feel nice if
you'd never.
I mean, I've like thought about that too. Like if I got put on like certain shows,
Chocolate
like,
Sundays,
right? If I got put on, I have to like if I got put on like Chocolate Sundays. Well, like, would I have good material for this? And not really, which I would like to have good material for that because that would be fun to perform for, more specific crowds like that. But, maybe one day.
I think I connect well with black audiences.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have any. You just have to take my word for it.
I got no proof of it, but
I think it's like you just have to like. I don't know. They are again speaking in generalities. They're gonna let you know if they don't like it
for sure.
So you have to like be like almost like Matt Rife style. You have to like be ready to interact and like fuck your jokes and like address what's happening in the room.
Right.
And there's so many people that forget being in a black room or a fucking indie room or whatever. It's like if you're like I'm a script guy, like I stick to the joke and I don't fucking move off it because I'm afraid I'll lose my place. You'll get eaten alive.
Yep. And that was me for first few years. I would never like diverge from the script, and that's why it took a while. That's why I was like really bad for a long time.
Yeah,
because if a joke is bombing, or if like you bomb like a couple bits, like you have to address that. Like you can't just move on and like nothing happened. And yeah, it's always a sign of like an amateur comic if they're just bombing and just no comment is being made.
Yeah, like also it's like when you're new, you don't know if it's your fault or the audience's fault.
Right.
And there are times where it is the audience's fault,
Sure.
and there's times where you suck and you missed a word and the joke didn't make sense. And that's the experience is you eventually realize, oh, this is my fault right now. Okay, I'll make fun of myself. There's times where it's the audience's fault, and in LA it's the audience's fault. Almost every time. I'm pretty fucking good at stand-up at this point. So I'm like, you fucking bird brain dipshit. That's the thing I now have to fight against.
I do like your freakouts at the audience.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it less because I don't want to like just be looking for an excuse to do that. And it's every audience is not like that, but a lot of them out here are. Where it's like I see comics that have to like they like leading a horse to water, the way they have to like set up the joke so that the audience will be receptive because it has the word gay in it or it has the word black in it. And you're like, I just tell the joke. And if they don't laugh, I'm like, you fucking pieces of shit. That's a good joke. I tell that fucking joke every time I do comedy, not in LA. Yeah. That joke crushes.
Right.
It crushes in black rooms. It has crushed in black rooms. Why can't it crush in front of a bunch of fucking 30-year-old white actors in fucking LA?
Right.
It's not, I just feel like here it's just like you're not really getting a good sampling of your material. Unless you're doing a comedy chateau show, in which case you're getting a sampling of friends of comedians being tortured.
Right.
Which is actually a little more representative of the country.
Right. I actually did a show there last night, and it was solid. It was a packed room.
Yes.
And crowd was pretty good.
Yeah, people really hate on a couple clubs out here, and it's not like every reason they have is not founded.
Right.
But if you can go and like get a good audience and like fucking have a good time for 5 or 10 minutes, I'm like, I'll always do that. I don't know why people. The other thing is like, I'm only passed at like 3 clubs. So like when people shit on them, I'm like, well, where are you fucking doing stand up?
Right.
Like, am I missing you at the Comedy Store on Tuesday nights? Like, where are you getting up right now?
Yeah.
You should probably just go try to get past at the places that'll pass you and then grow it from there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
We're at, this has to end at an hour. It can't go, if it goes a minute longer.
Wow.
The viewership.
Okay. So you got to cut some minutes out of this.
No. Who are the teams in Minnesota? The Vikings?
Twins.
No Super Bowls.
No Vikings, no Super Bowls.
The Twins have won a World Series.
Twins have won 2. And
were you alive?
Nope. Last one was 1991, the year before I was born.
Kirby Puckett,
yep.
Right?
Yep. So
is he dead?
He is. He died young. He
like went blind and
went blind and gained like 300 pounds and
was he not the best dude? I thought there was stuff about him not being the best guy.
Some stuff came out, some allegations of
his. He had some geish.
Yeah.
He had some gations.
Some gations. Never heard that abbreviation before.
Yeah.
He had some gations, which was tough because like he had such like a great story of like how he came up. He was dirt poor in like inner city Chicago, like learned baseball playing, like he'd practice by like throwing a ball against the wall. And like it just like
those stories are always so like you're like a cockroach taught me how to read. You're like, oh god damn it.
Right. But I mean, it seemed like he was really just the epitome of coming from nothing and he was beloved in the Twin Cities. I was a little young when he was playing, but from what I hear, he was just this like hero in the area. The 2 World Series, he did a lot of things for the community, a lot of charity work, and so on. And then this stuff kind of came out later on, which was pretty sad. That kind of tarnished his once great reputation, and then he died at like, I don't know, around 40s or maybe mid 40s, but yeah, from like health problems. But yeah, it's sad. But that's Kirby. Yeah,
that's Kirby.
Twins,
Vikings.
Timberwolves have, of course,
never won.
And then, although they're having a great season this year,
they really are.
Yeah, and then the Wild have never won one.
You don't consider the North Stars, who became the Dallas Stars.
Yes,
the Dallas Stars have won, but you don't. You're like, they're dead to me.
Yeah. It's like the Seattle wouldn't claim the Thunder now.
But you know what they do, which is fucking horseshit, is the Lakers are like, we've won 19 titles.
They take the Minneapolis
You haven't
titles.
won. You didn't win them.
Right.
Minnesota won those.
Yep.
That would piss me off.
Yeah. That is...
Those banners should hang above Timberwolves games.
Right. Yes. No, I always kind of like half seriously complain about that, how like, they took the team and then take credit for the titles, and then we were stuck without a team for years, and then had the awful Wolves who have been terrible for most of the history until
I think that's something I wish, if I was president, the things I would run on. I'd make everybody go to an open mic, and I would make like, if you win a title in a town, then that town keeps the title,
right,
and that town keeps the stats. So it's like, the fucking Oakland Raiders, whatever they won in Oakland, that's Oakland's. And if they get another team later on, their new team, the Oakland Wizards, gets to hang Raiders banners.
Right.
Why the fuck are the Tennessee Titans wearing Houston Oilers jerseys against the Texans? Like, that's Houston's fucking
It is
shit.
a little confusing.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
These are my two platforms.
Yeah, there is. I did just go to a Timberwolves game over Thanksgiving, and there is a banner that says like Minneapolis Lakers, but it's like, I think just there for like, it's not like the official. There's no official like title banners, because those are at the Lakers, or the crypto.com, whatever it's called now.
Yeah,
those are there.
It's the
Staples. Yeah,
like Staples was like a guy. No, that's the Staples Center.
Right.
The good people at Staples.
Let's show Mr. Staples some respect.
They should rename like Wrigley Field and Fenway Park like fucking Energizer Stadium and shit. Like that would be. It's because like the Eagles play at the Link. I'm a Philly fan.
Yeah.
And we're like the Link, and it's like it's fucking Lincoln Financial Bank. It's like, let's stop trying to make it sound kind of cool.
Right.
Veteran Stadium sounded cool.
Yes.
That's the Vet.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. It's like, let's not try to humanize these soulless corporations.
No. I agree.
Yeah, Veteran Stadium, that was a cool name.
That was it was a dangerous place.
Probably.
A lot of people got hurt there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people getting thrown downstairs, and I watched a lot of crazy shit as a kid.
If you like wore the opposing team.
Yeah, you couldn't really do that.
Yeah.
I saw a guy get like a beer thrown in his face from like a lady. He was like wearing Mets shit on his face, and some lady just threw a beer at him.
Yeah.
Just crazy stuff.
Yeah, nice fans out there.
This is where it was like, and then we'll end on this. Just like talking like a politician. We're gonna end on this. There was an Army-Navy game where like I guess a bunch of Army guys like were like leaning on a railing for a TV camera, and then the railing collapsed, and like 4 dudes got paralyzed and shit, and because they fell onto the cement floor that was the old vet. And I remember like as a kid being like, well, you can't lean on railings at the vet. Like that was my reaction. It wasn't like, oh my God, these guys have been paralyzed. This is so sad. I was like, only an idiot would lean on the railing. Like, you know, those things, like there's like duct tape holding it. I'm like, oh, I know that. I've like put my foot up on it as a 10-year-old and it's collapsed. Yeah. That place was a fucking dump.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. I've seen pictures, videos. Yeah.
You like the when the Superdome collapsed? Do you remember that?
Or the Metrodome?
Metrodome, sorry. Yeah, where the fucking thing came down.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was very cool.
Yeah, well, the Metrodome, that's another total dump. But, like, I have this soft spot in my heart for it. Like, such great memories going there. And yeah, like Target Field now that Twins have, beautiful.
I went to it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it is beautiful, but it's like, I want the shitty old one.
Yeah.
I want
Target
the shitty
Field,
old
beautiful. U.S. Bank Stadium for the Vikings, beautiful. But they don't have that same character.
No, like the fucking, like in right field, it looked like there was like a filing cabinet above the...
the seats, folded up.
That looked awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That looked so, when people would hit home runs into it, it would just bounce off and like you could hear it on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Right, and they had the right field wall was the baggy, they'd call it.
Yeah.
Because they would just have to put, or else it would all be like the football stands that just go straight up. So they put the baggy, which was part of the right field wall. And yeah, that place just had so much character and was such like a home field advantage. And now it's like we have these beautiful new ballparks.
Not as fun.
At what cost?
No, like I had a guy on here that was talking about how like if you watch like old NFL clips from the 70s, it'll be like Terry Bradshaw to Lynn Swan for a Super Bowl. And as like you're watching the slow motion pass, there's like a fucking like Buick LeSabre just parked next to the end zone.
Right.
Like when the NFL just wasn't popular enough for like people wouldn't park their cars on the field, or like there's just like a fucking like some dude like just doing a crossword puzzle during the game like at the 10-yard line. Like I like that old fucking vibe of like it's not 100% manicured. Right. It looks like a little rough.
Yeah, and that was pretty true across the board. I've seen a lot of old baseball clips like that where these places look like
dumps.
They're dumps. There's no like quality control basically across the league. Like now everything is pristine except of course the one last stadium, like dump stadium, I think out there in general is the Coliseum, the Oakland.
Yes.
Well, that's on its last
it's
year now,
but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
It's beautiful. It's like nobody's there.
Yeah.
It just looks like shit.
Right.
Yes, it's like I feel like I'm watching a baseball game. Yeah. And they're gonna move to Vegas. They're gonna have like they're gonna play in like $1 billion fucking park.
A palace, yeah.
And you're just like, man, it's like it sucks. Too many people like it. That's why like I'm getting into college football now, and I watch the MAC, which is like, Miami of Ohio versus Akron. But like you look at their stadiums and you're like, these look like old NFL stadiums. Like they're dumpy. Like there's like there's like an infield marking or like second bases like in the end zone. Like they just look like shit. Yeah. There's a track around the field for half of the teams.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want it to look like somebody like on a Friday night was like, oh fuck, dude, there's a game on Sunday. Oh fuck, we got to set up we forgot to set shit up, and there's like still things from the other teams around. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
They got to go back.
Yeah, the classics. Yeah. It's too bad. Too bad for Oakland. They're losing the A's.
Did they demolish the Metrodome? They blew it up.
They demolished and built a new stadium on the same site.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I liked this is the last thing, and then we're gonna get out on this.
Yes.
But you ever look at old photos of the Silverdome?
Oh yeah.
Where it was like there's like just like a fucking wolf, or like there's like animals eating each other like at midfield, and that was the coolest shit ever. Like when they let it like they like left it, they just walked. Oh, yeah. They just walked away from it.
Right.
And then somebody went in and took photos like
I
8 years.
I did see that. Yeah. Someone did the same thing at Astrodome.
Yes, it looks awesome.
Oh yeah, it's like that would be so fun to like go in an abandoned old
like a palace
stadium.
Of fucking memories. You're like they won a world championship right there. There's just an oak tree growing out of it. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
That stuff should be maintained.
Yeah. Well, they maintain the Astrodome. They demolished the Silverdome. Astrodome, I think, is a historic site, so they can't demolish it yet. I know there's some legal issues about it, but
Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was big on that.
On keeping
old shit.
Okay.
That was her. That was her
Okay.
legacy.
Okay.
Her legacy. She has 2 legacies.
Yeah, I can think of the other one.
One was like holding her husband's brains.
Yes.
And the other one was she went around New York and she was like historically marked things and said that has to stay forever. And that's why in New York you'll be like, there's the fucking new Freedom Tower and then like a bagel shop run by like 2 Jewish guys right next to it because that Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis said, don't touch it.
Yeah. Didn't know that was part of her legacy.
I always end on a Jackie O story. Malcolm, where can people find you online?
Yes, thank you. People can find me at, if you look at my name, Malcolm Kelner, you can find me on all the social platforms or whatever. I post some pretty silly and crazy stuff. Maybe you'll like it. So check it out. Also, I have a podcast called The Two Woke Boys, TOO Woke Boys. It's a satirical character podcast with me and another comedian, Jeff Zenisek, where we play characters and clown around and have fun. So yeah. Check those out if you want.
Way to give the plug to the camera.
Yeah.
Very, very professional.
Yep.
So many people just are like, well, you can check it. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking look at it. Tell
I'm not
them.
gonna listen to your shitty podcast.
I do like the pun on 2 woke boys.
Right.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you. It's
well done.
Oh, appreciate it. But it's a pretty insane show that will certainly eventually lead to my own cancellation. But until then, check it out.
It's for you guys. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.